you.
With two N's or one N? One N.
She's a stickler. I have a granddaughter named Roxanne. I think she's one in also. Maybe that's mostly the correct way. I don't know. It's a pretty name though.
It is.
This is almost exactly a year since our last meeting.
I know.
Before we get started, just a little housekeeping. So through this door, there is a restroom. If you go down the hallway, it's a small hallway. There's a restroom on the right-hand side, should anybody need the restroom during the meeting. We won't pause the meeting, so just get up and use the restroom and come back out. And then in front of you, each of you, there is a mic.
You doing your dance class?
No, my own dance.
Oh, okay. I hear it. This is the Pinole Community Services Commission, and the date is October 22nd, 2025. And I would like to call the meeting to order. Could I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Teller, present.
Commissioner Avila.
Present.
Commissioner Butler. Absent. Commissioner Cornejo Ayers.
Present.
Commissioner Enriquez. Hello. She's on remote. Commissioner Martin.
Present.
Commissioner Ojeda.
Present.
Commissioner Teller.
Present.
For chair report, We're happy to be back in session and with our new with our new operating rules. So, with new bylaws and procedures, and I hope everyone has reviewed them. Are there any announcements from commissioners? Has anyone participated in any recent activities in this? Debbie, Commissioner Debbie.
I participated in our Pinole Community Theater Gala, annual gala. It was at St. Joseph's on September 20th. So we realized that we booked it on a day that conflicted with coastal cleanup, and we won't do that again. But we did have a wonderful turnout at St. Joseph's, and a lot of people enjoyed themselves and the meal, and our Interact Club that helped serve the meal from Pinole Valley High School. Thank you.
Any other commissioners?
I was at Dumpster Day, October 11th, and it's been reformatted, so there was a much longer wait. But still, people showed up and got rid of their things, myself included, so overall, it was a success.
I participated and helped with coastal cleanup with registration, which was a great event. I was involved with Lions in delivering backpacks to several local schools, and I'm hoping to set up a scholarship speech contest with the Pinole High School. Any other announcements from commissioners? We're going to move on to citizens to be heard. Citizens may speak under any item not listed on the agenda. The time limit is 3 minutes and is subject to modification by the chair. Individuals may not share or offer time to another speaker. Pursuant to provisions of the Brown Act, no action may be taken on a matter unless it is listed on the agenda or unless certain emergency or special circumstances exist. The commissioners may direct staff to investigate and/or schedule certain matters for consideration at a future meeting. And you can see the cover sheet of the agenda for instructions on how to submit public comments. I'm just asking now, are there any citizens to be heard?
We have none at this time.
Well, hearing that there are no citizens at this time, we'll move on to the next item, which is recognitions, presentations, and community events.
Thank you, Chair Martin. So tonight, we do not have any recognitions to provide, but we do have presentations. So we will go on to item 5B. We will be doing the administration of the oath of office to our 3 new commissioners, and our Deputy City Clerk, Roxanne Stone, will be assisting us with that.
Commissioner Romilda Avila, if you could come forward. Right here is fine. If you could raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Romilda Avila,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon
of the office
which I am about to enter.
upon which I am upon to enter.
About to enter.
Upon to enter.
About to enter.
About to enter, excuse me.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No. Next we have Commissioner, it's Natalia Cornejo Ayers. Is that correct? Okay. And please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Natalia Cornejo Ayers,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well
and that I will well
and faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is Commissioner Lil Milagro, is she online? Okay. Lil Jeanette Lil Milagro Henriquez,
Yes.
can you raise your right hand? I state your name,
I, Jeanette Lil Milagro Enriquez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
On behalf of all the commission members present, we are so thrilled to have 3 new members, so welcome. We're looking forward to working with you.
Thank you, Chair. Just to also state, so since we've previously met, Commissioner Ruport's term has ended, and then Commissioner Bob Kopp is also no longer, he's also vacated his seat, and so we have filled those spots, and we are officially full, and with a we have filled all vacancies, and we are now a full 7-person commission. So these are your new commissioners, and they filled our vacant spots. So welcome all. We are excited to see this next couple of years and experience some new programs and services. So thank you. Thank you, Chair.
And thank you, staff, for doing such a great job. We're going to move on to the next item, which is community events. And Maria, will you be addressing that?
Yes, thank you. So we are hosting our Halloween movie this Friday, October 24th at Fernandez Park. The event starts at sundown, which is approximately 6:15, so we invite the community to come over and enjoy that movie. We will be featuring Hocus Pocus 2. And our department will be providing popcorn and candy, so please share it. I have some flyers here if you'd like to take at the end, so please share it with the community, and I hope you all can join us.
And then one other event, since we do have it listed for community events, we do want to mention this year we will have some more events that are coming up, so we will see those later in the agenda, which Maria will touch upon soon. But that one is this Friday, so friends, family, little ones, all of the family members are welcome. And we do have a backup rainy plan if that needs to happen, but let's hope for no rain. Thank you.
We'll move on now to new business. Could I ask, please, for the approval of the minutes of the regular Community Services Commission, October 23rd, 2024? And could I ask that from the older commissioners to do that, please? To approve the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved.
Thank you. Yes, and for those, we didn't want the new commissioners, since they weren't present at the October meeting, so the ones that were present were able to vote on that. So thank you, Chair, for that clarification.
We move on now to the Community Service Commission bylaws. They have been updated. I hope everyone has read them, had an opportunity to read them. Andrea, are you speaking to that?
Yes. So thank you. So in front of you, and was attached to your packet and agenda, we will see a draft of the bylaws, so for the Community Service Commission. So these have not been updated in quite a while, and so due to our expansion and what we have in front of us and how it's been going, staff thought it was a great idea to take a look at where we were, what we were doing and the work we were doing, and then really just tailor it to fit our current operations and then where we want to go in the future. And so these are a draft. These do not apply present day. These are for your review and then advisement for City Council. So our hope is to get these on the next City Council meeting, which will be Tuesday, November 4th. And tonight we are just open for conversation, any questions, if things are new or if things are missing or if any things that were added. If you had questions about it, now would be the time to take a look. So thank you for reading. Chair Martin did see one a bit earlier, so I do just want to point that out. We did see that on Section 6, which is Rules of Procedure, and item B, it does state that these meetings take place on the 4th Wednesday of every month at 6:30 p.m., which is not correct. It is actually 5 p.m., so that is something that we will also make changes of. Initially, in our current bylaws, they actually do say 6:30 currently, and I think what happened, what it sounds like, is when we first started, that was what they had started at, and then there was a change requested by the commission and staff, and so they changed it to 5. So we will continue with the 5 p.m. and we will bring that changed forward to City Council. But as you take a look at them, are there any questions? Chair, you can open it up to the commissioners for conversation.
Any comments or suggestions or anything from from any of the commissioners?
I have one. Oh, are you going?
So Chair Martin, you can go ahead and we'll say Commissioner Avila, if you could go ahead and think.
Perfect. Because, for me and a couple folks, we're fairly new. Are there any, like a summary that you can give for maybe a minute around any major changes? Or is it just technical changes? Because I did have like one or two comments, but I wasn't sure if there was like, here are the obvious changes that maybe some of the other commissioners might know of.
Sure, thank you for your question. So the good thing is they're very similar to where the bylaws were currently. So which are still posted online. If you did want to take a look, we could also send the older version. But the newer version, some of the things that we've done is this commission provides recommendations to City Council. It is really to support the Community Services Department, Parks and Rec, with our service needs, what our community needs, and this commission is really to help us do that. So making sure that this commission is assisting with relationships throughout the community, with our school groups, with our local nonprofit groups, making sure that if you guys hear something from the community about new programs, events, or services, bringing those new ideas forward, letting us know what those look like, having ideas of current processes. So previously, we did have some special events that Community Services Department was a part of. That has changed. So things like Dumpster Day is something that our Community Services team used to help with, and then the commissioners used to also help with that. Operationally, we've changed where that is now a Public Works Department event. And so we needed to look at other things that this commission could do in order to still support community services. So what does that look like? It's really, truly about services within the community. It's about supporting Parks and Rec, community services, to make sure that we're offering updated events that are popular with the community. If we see a missing group, for example, if we thought expansion on youth services, or if we thought expansions of senior services would be a good idea, what does that look like from the commission? And then as we went forward, we also took a look at just updating things. There was no, we have a manager who oversees as a liaison, and then myself as the director, so just putting those, also updating those terms and the people in there. And then also, we would take this commission from a 7-person commission down to a 5-person commission, which is an update. What that means is that once the last 2 people would term out, because there are 2 seats that would term out, then the next time that there was a 5-seat, the 3 term would come up is when the next 2 people could apply. So just balancing what that would look like. A 7-person commission is lengthy to have, and so a 5 would fit where we are for services and ideas and conversation. Other than that, those were the really big changes, and things were just updated, to include conflicts of interest and communications on absences and things like that. Great question, thank you.
Commissioner Ojeda?
Now I have a second question. I was going to ask, when we have Community Services Day, last year we didn't meet ahead of time and help to plan it. This time, and things were a little, up in the air. This next year, will we be helping to plan that?
So let's focus on the bylaws for now, because that's not a part of the bylaws.
I thought it was. I'm sorry.
That's okay. When we get to events, we can talk about that. The intention is to always have community services a part of it. We did send emails, but we can discuss that in a little bit later in the agenda. Thank you.
That's fine. And then could you just go over what you just talked about when that would be Laurel and I think when we term out, are we encouraged to reapply, or would that be our final term?
No, there's no final term, so there's no, so that wouldn't apply. So what it would mean is as soon as there's another seat to apply for, you would just reapply.
Okay.
So as soon as there's a vacancy, then you would be eligible to reapply for that vacancy.
Okay, because you're going to take it down to a 5-person commission again.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But when there's a vacancy, then anybody's eligible to apply.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Are there any other further comments from commissioners?
I'd like to ask, what's the reason for the taking it down from a 7 to 5, just for clarification?
Yeah, so I just spoke with Commissioner Avila, as I was saying, was a 7-person commission is, we really want to have fruitful conversations. With 7 people, you're bringing forward a lot of agenda items, a lot of ideas, and a 5-person commission is really what is standard and really supported through conversations, ideas, and flow. So our workflow, as we are changing that soon to come, we will be establishing a workflow that is going to have 7 different voices, including staff voices as well. And so we will soon find out how that is going to be plentiful, and we will only have a short time to fill those, right? So we'll look at our work plan and what we want to do as it aligns with city council priorities, with our community service department priorities, and then we'll look at what's realistic that we can do within this next year. So really just making sure that voices are heard and supported, and we can get to all of the ideas that everybody's going to have.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yes.
Now, the discussion, we've moved on from bylaws.
So I
Now,
just need to, do you have that under? Yes, so for these bylaws, we will need a motion to go ahead and continue them to, and approve them to city council. So can you go ahead and execute that?
Could I ask for approval of the,
I motion approval of bylaws.
I second that motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
I'm opposed.
You're opposed? Yes. Do you want to state your reason for why you're opposed?
I'm just not comfortable with taking it from 7 down to 5.
That's fine, she's marked as an opposed, so we don't need to get into discussion.
Okay.
That's, votes are done, and that's, she's noted that way. Thank
Just
you.
a
Just a note.
synopsis.
Just a note.
Yeah, we want, just opposed is perfect, thank you.
So the motion is carried.
Yep.
So we'll move on now to discuss Veterans Day.
Thank you. I will take that item. So the city is hosting its first Veterans Day celebration this year. Previously, this event was hosted by the Pinole Historical Society. So the city will be supporting with this event. It's going to be held at Fernandez Park. It is on Tuesday, November 11th from 11 a.m. to 12:30. We will have a flag retirement ceremony provided by Pinole Troop 82. There'll be veteran and community speeches. We're going to have the local band and choir perform as well. And then we'll also have resources and information available for the community and for veterans as well. We've partnered with a couple organizations that will come out that are specifically that provide services to veterans, and they'll be providing resources during the event. So we hope that the commission will come over and support with that.
Yeah, I'm planning on attending. My husband's a veteran, was. Do you want any of the commissioners to assist in any way? Or just, if there's any way we can help, can you let us know?
Yes, we will follow up with anything that might be needed for the event.
Okay. Holiday events, upcoming.
All right, we have a couple events coming up. It's our busy year of the time of the year. We go into our summer and right into our winter events. So I want to highlight a few of the events that we have coming up that are being promoted in the community. Our first one that will kind of kick off the holiday season is our holiday craft fair. That will be at the senior center. So we have over 40 vendors that will be tabling and selling their unique crafts and goods. That event is held from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's on November 15th at the senior center. Right after that event, that's right before kind of the Thanksgiving holiday, so a good opportunity to get some of your early shopping done and support some of the local businesses and vendors. After that event, we will go into the month of December where we will be hosting our annual tree lighting event, which is it will be held on Saturday, December 6th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. The event is normally held at Fernandez Park, but we are expanding and taking the event over to the community corner. So it'll be held where we have the holiday tree. That's normally where we then, transition to after our activities in the park. But this year we will start at community corner and everything will be along that area. Some of the streets will be closed off. So we'll have all of the activities. We'll have the children's activities. We'll have food vendors, looking to have some craft vendors as well. Providing our department will also be providing arts and crafts. It'll be a good opportunity. The businesses are aligned there to support them as well. And then we'll have our tree lighting ceremony once those activities, and we'll go into and do our tree lighting ceremony at 5:30. So we'll have entertainment as well from the local band and choir that will be performing at this event as well. So will be a lot of fun for our community, and we've just kind of exceeded our space over at Fernandez Park, so it'll be nice to not have to rush from Fernandez Park over to the community corner. Everything's just going to be there in that area. Nice. And then the following week, we have our holiday breakfast on Saturday, December 13th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. This is a ticketed event. It is $10 for resident, $12 for non-resident. It's held at the Senior Center. This is our second time. Last year was our first time hosting this event. We'll have Santa and Mrs. Claus at the event. We'll have crafts, a delicious breakfast that will include pancakes, eggs, bacon, sausage, coffee, orange juice. So tickets can be purchased for this online at pinolerack.com. And all of our events are listed on the city's website as well. And we have flyers here for the community, for you guys, if you guys want to share. We have them out in the community, but if you want to distribute to anybody, please, we would encourage you to mark it and share this with the community as well. The final one is Glow Pinole, which is a decorating contest with Pinole residents. So last year was our first time that we did this with the local businesses and residents. We have 3 categories for each of them. So for residents, we have a holiday showstopper, best theme display, glow and go. For the businesses, we have Glow Getter Award, Winter Wonderland Window, and Dazzling Display Award. So we're encouraging the community to participate in this event. Registration opens on December 1st. And they have to complete, we will feature an interactive map that will be able to guide the community to go visit all the homes or businesses that are participating. And we'll also have a link where the community will be able to vote this year. So that will be a new addition that will have, that they'll be able to go out and vote. We'll have our community voting dates from December 15th through the 26th. Registration for this event can also be completed at pinolerack.com. And if anybody has any questions or anything, I know that was a lot of information about all of our events. Please let me know.
Commissioner Ojeda.
Can we have you, or me anyways, email the flyers for these different things in a format that I can put on Facebook and that I can print and share with businesses? Also, as a commissioner, I'd like to join the caravan in judging, although I know I cannot win anything. I just wanted to, because we always put on a big display.
Thank you for your questions, Commissioner Ojeda. So this year, our commissioners are not going to be part of the voting for this event. It's going to be a community voting page that we'll have available on our website where everybody could just go in and vote for, the category, for the categories that I listed. So we won't have the commissioners involved in that part this year.
I think I misspoke. I was just asking, as a commissioner, is it okay if they look at my house but not vote for it? It's off the table for voting.
So I want to, let's not say that because that's not accurate.
Okay.
Commissioners can join this program. They can enroll, they can sign up, they can be a winner.
Oh.
You are not selecting the winners, therefore
Right.
you don't have any hand in selecting those winners, therefore you can be a winner. The community is, if they pick you, the community has picked you. So what we've done, so that's why I was like, let's stop saying you're not eligible. Commissioners are eligible. We encourage you to sign up, to decorate, to engage. Yes. So there will be no commissioners needing to go vote this year. New commissioners, I do just want to provide some perspective. Last year, this commission was supposed to go around and vote for the winners. And so with, 50 houses, they were making a good trek out there to go take a look. And so this year, we've decided the community was really interested in being the voters.
Good.
So the community has now decided that, or we've decided that the community will be the ones to vote. So if commissioners are a part of that list, no one will know know you're a commissioner. They're just going to see stop number 22 is, this address. They just go, they won't know any different. So Commissioner Ojeda, you have a chance. The community could decide. So yes, please sign up the same way everybody else would. And then when voting time happens, you'll be on that list. Yes, as long as you register to vote. To enter, excuse me. Are there any questions about the voting or how that works? So the intention is with this program for Glow Pinole, just to give a little bit more context to it as well. Thank you, Maria, for the dates and information. This event is really to light up Pinole, to celebrate the holiday season. And so that could look like maybe you just like some inflatables. Maybe you love the classic lights. Maybe you like new traditions and you want to do a Snoopy themed. Different ideas are out there. And so we're really encouraging the community to celebrate and decorate so that way the community can go around and really just enjoy. I know for myself, it took about 2 hours last year for me to go to every house and take photos and just really enjoy that. And I did that with my kids and it was so much fun. And so I'm really encouraging everybody, even if you could do maybe, 5 to 6 houses a day and make it not so long, that's an option. But we will have that information out there for the public to really enjoy. So we're excited to see, and we really wanted to light up Pinole, hence the Glow Pinole title of that. And so we're excited to see the turnout this year. Last year was Trek. I think 55 around there houses were eligible and entered. So we're excited to see the turnout this year. So any questions?
I had a question about the.
Commissioner Natalia.
I had a question about the craft fair, I believe. That one is one where vendors are able to sell, correct?
Yes.
What's the process look like for sellers to be eligible to enroll? Like, is there an application? Is there a fee?
There is an application and a fee. We are currently sold out for vendor spaces. The Holiday Craft Fair is one of our most popular vendor registrations. So I believe this year we took 50. Maria will, so it was let Maria touch on this, but it is one of our most popular, yes.
Yes, thank you. So we did have 55 spots available for the craft fair, and all of those went really quickly. We probably didn't even make it to the end of the week before they filled up. So just for information regarding fees, senior center members, it's $40, and then the general public, it's $50. Registration usually for this event starts in September at the beginning of the month. So we just encourage anybody who's interested in becoming a vendor, just getting on the list, because we'll do an email. We'll advertise that registration's coming, the event's going to open. So it is something that's very popular with our community.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Avila.
Yeah, so are you done kind of around the events that you're hosting? Because I want to ask a question around an event, like with a partnership with nonprofits of any kind for the end of the year. Okay, I'll ask the question. So do you do anything with like low-income families around any gift giveaways? I know like usually nonprofits during that time always have some type of giveaway for that season. And I didn't know if the city of Pinole is able to partner or at least amplify some of the nonprofits doing work during that time.
Commissioner Avila, this is exactly what we're looking for this new term. So thank you so much for even thinking of that magnitude. The police department does a really good job at doing backpack giveaways, or they also do one through Target where they get a donation on the specifics, but it is available that I can pass that to the commission. We don't have nonprofits reaching out to us to partner. We are actually always looking for partnerships with nonprofits to do that. The city, we used to have a nonprofit through our senior center. We no longer have that. The senior center advisory board was a nonprofit. They no longer are. And so doing those donations and those giveaways is difficult because if we don't have a partner to do that with, we're not eligible. So we are always looking for those partnerships to grow. We work really well with the Pinole Seals, who is our local swim team, and they are a nonprofit, so we are doing things with them. We just did the floating pumpkin patch this last weekend to be able to offer those types of things. But as far as do we connect, we would love to, and if we had the opportunity, we also would look at staffing capacity and what they could offer, what we could do, and we would love to support that in any way that we could. We just need a nonprofit to reach out.
And just one follow-up question. I know that I'm not sure of kind of the laws, but are we able to partner with like religious institutions? Because I know like usually, there might be some separation there. And if not, I don't want any pressure on the staff to try to come up with that, before the end of the year, but something exploratory to make sure we have nonprofit partners that are ready and able to kind of have this event for next year, for example.
Yes, so case by case, depending on what the ask is, we can definitely partner with a nonprofit, and it would depend on what that would look like, to what capacity, to your question. So I would take that as a case by case. Yeah, thank you. Great question, and I encourage other commissioners also, if you guys know of nonprofits that could assist in things like that, that's something that we are always looking for to partner with. We just don't have, full staffing capacity to support all events, but we do our best to, when they come to us, that will assist. So thank you. Chair Martin, we have a comment online, so we're going to, Commissioner Milagro Enriquez, so we're going to.
Yes, going actually back to the nonprofit question, is there a list of nonprofits that are present currently in Pinole that would potentially be able to, just so that, there was just like a understanding of like what the field in Pinole is around nonprofits, and then seeing what are the works that they're already doing to be able to make some of those possible connections?
Just to clarify the question, so you're asking if we have a list of nonprofits and seeing what their service is within the city?
Yes, that's accurate.
So we do not have a current list. A lot of nonprofits have changed over the years, but we don't have staffing support to pursue those nonprofits. When those nonprofits, we encourage them to come to us and to collaborate with us, or if there's opportunities, they'll email or reach out. But those are them reaching out to staff, as we don't have a nonprofit division that could really pursue those. So if we don't have a current list, we do have school community groups and groups that we've worked with within the last 5 years. We do have information for PTA groups and things like that. So when we do have events like our holiday breakfast, where we're seeking donations and any sponsorship opportunities that people would be interested in, we do email those groups that we have just to see if they're interested in partnering, donating, sponsoring. So we've done that recently within the last 2 years. And then just to finish that, going back to Commissioner Ojeda's question, as far as Community Service Day. So since this is the event topic, we can go ahead and touch on that one. So Community Service Day, we did email for projects of commissioners. We did ask if there were any. I think we did a total of 2 or 3 that we had sent last year. Just really, this past one, just really trying to collaborate on what projects looked like. But as far as meeting beforehand, was there something specific that you were looking for?
I just felt that we could share our ideas in a group in person rather than through emails. And since it doesn't look like we'll be meeting that often, although I might be wrong. I was just hoping that we could meet to help organize the Community Service Day like we used to.
So not sure about the change in meeting schedule. There's not, when you say we aren't meeting often?
Well, I'm not sure how it's going to go this year. We hadn't been last year.
Yeah, there were changes that needed to occur in order to reconvene, especially with the bylaws as we move forward with the work plan. But moving forward, it's the same schedule. We will, as stated in the bylaws that you'll see, it's, we will meet the 4th. We will also continue with the breaks, and that's something that is on for the next agenda item to talk about the schedule, since obviously, the holidays are difficult to have everybody and meet a quorum during those times. So those are the same breaks. As far as meeting outside of that, we won't. To meet outside of the commission meetings and would have to be a special meeting. And we won't have a special, because anytime commissioners get together to talk in a group would be considered a special meeting that we would have to initiate.
I think I misspoke. I didn't mean for us to meet outside of our regular meeting. I just was trying to ask this coming year, will we be able to have one of these meetings the 4th Wednesday of the month of, I don't know, February or March, to start talking about Community Services Day?
So your commission, your chair can select what's on the agenda. They can work with staff. We can add that topic to the agenda. We always do have opportunity to do that, but it'll be, what we're really going to work on this coming year is the expansion of services, the needs of the community, reaching out to groups. And so my hope is that since that one is pretty well oiled, we will have it on the agenda to discuss what projects look like. We will bring it to the commission to ask if there are any. But as far as fine details, we probably would still use our electronic emails to just say final details. But as far as the overall flow of the day, we can definitely bring that up. Just like we do these other events, we've given updates. That'll still be on our agendas as we move forward every month.
And do we have a date yet for that?
Yes, we do. Maria can pull that just one second. But yes, those are already just, and if you go online to pinole.gov/events, we do have our events and our dates. So that'll be something that you can always refer people to as we get going with 2026.
Okay, thank you.
May 16th, 2026.
So we can have it added to the agenda at the appropriate time and see if anyone has any fresh ideas or see where we're at. Thank you. That's good.
And then there's a question.
And it might be more of a comment, just so I have clarification. So what I'm understanding is there's really 4 functions for the commission. One is to vote on something, like to approve the bylaws, procedural things. The other is like simple, like input, like thank you for like your input as community members of Pinole. The third I'm also hearing is recommendations to the city council on specific type of initiatives or strategies. And then the fourth I would also hear is like participation in the actual event, either with the planning, the execution, showing up. And so as we're moving forward, I think, I'm trying to understand the transition that's also happening. The folks who have been here and more tenured and the newer folks is maybe kind of, here's the direction of the commission is that we're moving into a new phase, right? Which is we want you to recommend to the city commission on these specific things, right? So I guess for me, it would be like more as we're moving forward in these next couple of months saying, as we're moving into this new space, I know the bylaws will be voted in by the city council members, whether they move it back to us for changes or it moves forward in its current state, is how you want us to convene. Because I want to show up. I want to be at the meetings, but I want to know if I'm showing up to help or if I'm showing up to participate or if I'm showing up to just be a part of the community and not kind of so much commissioners role. So that's going to be helpful as far as moving forward. And then also I see like now if that's approved, there's a work plan and sometimes thinking about the budget, if you want us to actually have like strategy conversations, because I understand like there's a financial implication around how the city is thinking about revenue and expenses. And I'm not clear even around the budget for this year, if, where we are we having any challenges? Some of the strategies, were we able to fulfill goals? And I don't want to put pressure on the staff to give us a report on that, but I'm sure as we move into the next couple of months in the new year, is there going to be like a push for us to advise on that without having that information? So I just wanted to provide as a comment just to make sure I can show up really well here, is to make sure that I understand the 4 capacities I'm showing up in, and then also what information we would need to really advise specifically for 2026.
Thank you for your question and comment. There are a couple of things that are noted in the bylaws that I do want to just piece together in that comment. So part of our work plan is going to be establishing what this future looks like. And as that, it is going to be a guided conversation to really show the areas that we can and cannot yet get to, but maybe it could be down the line. Part of this is reestablishing. When we did take a break, it was to really establish those goals of how are we moving forward? Because before it was a lot more of we're showing up, but that was it. And so what are our goals as far as what are we voting on? What are we doing? What is the commission providing? For example, during the break, we had received a donation for for our local park to get rehabilitated. And so we were able to rehabilitate a park through a substantial donation from West Contra Costa Youth Soccer League. How I envisioned that going, and what that did was they came to community services team. We then pushed our reports, got approvals, and went to city council and were able to fulfill that project. How I envision that moving forward for a new park or an area in which that would happen again is to bring it to the commission first, to talk about ideas, especially related to Parks and Rec and community services. And so what happens is sometimes we're looking at it from our individual silos rather than what we're here for and what we're showing up for. And community services for the city of Pinole is really the lens that we need here. And so for advocates within the community, such as yourselves, we're hoping that through your individual reach and your individual network, that you will be able to provide that through this commission and then establish some ideas and timelines and opportunities and even things such as lenses, such as a nonprofit lens and an inclusionary lens, to make sure that we're also doing that as well. So there's conversation, yes, but this work plan I really think is what we're missing in this, and we had to get everybody into oath of office before we could really dive into that. So I thank you for that, because that is soon to come. On top of that, to the secondary piece of budget. So the budget didn't in the past come forward to this commission because this is an advisory to the city council. So what we did envelop into the bylaws as well is actually reviewing pieces of the community services budget as it relates to our services and programs. That does not change where money is allocated, and it does not change how we're doing things. It's just an update that we are going to also bring forward and talk about capital improvement plans, such as there's $150 allocated to one of our parks. What are we doing with that? You all as commissioners are going to be within this community. You guys knowing where that $150,000 is going to and the reach of that is far better than us knowing and really using you as a voice too within the community. Also saying, hey, well, also at that park, have we thought about this idea, a swing, or that idea, a restroom, or things like that? So we are going to bring that forward in this next term of our year for the commission. Those are things that will be new also. That was not done previously.
That was excellent. Thank you so much just for giving me that context so I can know how I can arrive. And it's so good to know there's like this beautiful transition to move forward, to have clarity, and then to make sure we are in the right partnership. We are supporting you, not being a burden, and making sure that, understanding the boundaries is so important to me.
I appreciate that, and love the new commissioner lens too, because there could be things that we're talking about, such as Community Service Day. Maybe we need to give a brief overview because we are so embedded in the work that sometimes we forget to kind of start from scratch. And so please, at any point, if there is a pause for clarification, or if you need a little bit more clarity behind a word or an event, we will be more than happy to do that. Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate the feedback.
And I'm excited too, Andrea, that you're looking forward to having us be involved in more events, the ones that can't. I think it's good for the commission. We're going to adjourn item E. Oh, sorry. Holiday meeting schedule. I beg your pardon.
Thank you. This is just historically, because we are getting into the holiday months, the commission has taken November and December off because they usually happen it's right in the middle of the holiday season. So we will be taking the same break in November and December, and then we will resume the meetings in January after the holiday break.
Thank you. At that time also, sorry, we are literally sharing. At that time also, we will be discussing chair and vice chair, as that will be something that will need to be revoted on. And then we also at that time will be bringing forward the work plan as well to guide that conversation. So January holds a new year, new things all the way around. So during November and December is when staff will prepare that work, and then January will show up to the meeting with that.
Any further comments?
And I promise this will be my last question, which is there anything before the end of the year that you will need support on beyond participating in events and showing up and supporting as much as possible?
ideally, since we've had the opportunity to look at these bylaws, to really think about what that work plan looks like for the community, I would encourage this commission to look at our current offerings, to look at our current events, to look at your own community and your own network, and maybe find some ideas, because as we show up for this work plan, it's really as good as it will be with the thoughts of the full team. That includes a staffing perspective, which we will be assisting to guide dollars. So if somebody comes in and says, I want to do a neighborhood watch event, well, we'll talk about what we currently have and how our goal is to really serve all of Pinole, not just a certain neighborhood. So we would really be looking at more globally how we can really support the full city rather than, so we'll guide those conversations when we take a look at that. But really this amount of time, other than the participation and showing up to these events, which we'll also email, getting them social and letting people know in your networks about the events, because now you are commissioners and there is such a big hoorah moment for that. So thank you for your participation, and then really showing up with those ideas of what you yourself would like to see as far as this commission. We have parks, we have services, there are dollars, which we'll talk about as well, for plans. So we'll also bring that in January to show where we currently are. So that way you guys can see the dollars for the swim center, some parks. There are these pieces, which you can find online should you choose to do some homework and some digging. It is there, but we can absolutely bring those in a summarized space as well in January. So just really thinking about what that looks like as we move forward will be ideal, because those ideas are so helpful. Thank you.
So our next meeting will be in January, again, welcoming the new commissioners. And I'm calling to adjourn the meeting.
I have a quick question. On the last point, just wondering about the timeline for understanding that we're going to be off for November, or not off, but not attending meetings on November and December. And as we're coming into January, thinking about if there are different recommendations or ideas that we have, is there a particular process or timeline that things need to be, the recommendations or suggestions need to be entered into? So, for example, thinking about something like Earth Day and what that could look like, and just wanting to, and thinking about it in January feels like it could be a little late. So just wanting to know what the process is for what possible recommendations for activities or things that are already happening in the community that we can raise up and plan around.
Yes, thank you for your question. So the work plan will be based off of our dollars, which we can allocate, and what we will and will not be able to do. So there will be discussion about that. But also while you are doing the research, just to know, as you've stated, we do an Earth Day event currently. We do have that. And so we can speak about, if you have questions about what that looks like. As far as raising an event, we just want to be mindful that it's actually a shared event, and we can talk about that. So there are other members and other departments. So this isn't necessarily a commission that would increase or decrease that work. This is something that we could talk about ideas. We wouldn't need to receive those in advance unless you would like to shoot ideas to us. That's perfectly, you're more than able to do that. You can ask us, our thoughts, or if you have questions about things, that is always received. You can always email us. But at the end of the day, for discussions and moving things forward, it would have to be at this commission. And we in that work plan, we will talk about what is attainable, but in January, even now, changing something for that event would be more of a discussion, not within the work plan, since that event is not centrally located with community services. So we could talk more about that if some clarification is needed. But very good question, in that if you are looking to do things in May or June, just having the thought of we're really getting started in January. And so when we look at this year, we'll be looking at it from a calendar year, although our fiscal impact will be split because we end in June, on June 30th. Our work plan will take place for that calendar year. So thank you for that question. Did you have a follow-up question to that? Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the response.
Thank you. Okay, you can adjourn.
Thank you, everyone. I'm calling to adjourn the meeting now.
Thank you.